What's up? It's ADR back with ADR's Premier League review, and you are with your boy ADR again. I appreciate all the new subs, people checking out the short. I got another short releasing a night of another trick shot. You already know your boy's going to come with the trick shots. The reason why I do that, just to kind of break into that a little bit, the reason why I personally do that is because I want you guys to know that I'm talking about footy, but your boy can play footy. I don't want it to be one of those situations where I'm one of those people who talks behind the camera, but again, can't do much, right? So I don't want to be a hypocrite, the biggest thing, right? Like I told you guys before, your boy has played professional, ended because of COVID. A lot of people's careers ended because of COVID. I'm not crying about it, but your boy still likes to indulge, and I do like showing off some of the things that I do. But let's go ahead and get into the video. We are going to talk about this weekend's fixtures. I'm just getting up my phone real quick here, and we will talk about the starting one. I thought that Manchester City were going to win 2-1. I thought it was going to be pretty narrow. I don't remember everything that I chose on the scorecards, but I do believe I remember some of them, and I did get a couple of them right, so I'm happy about that, right? So we will keep it going. Manchester City versus Newcastle. That was a fantastic game. I feel like, again, I think that the refs were a little bit inconsistent with Manchester City, but that's neither here nor there. I think that Newcastle did a good job. I think Eddie Howe's game plan and tactics were very good. This game was very early this morning at 7:30 here in the U.S. on the East Coast, so it was a little bit difficult for me to wake up because I wake up really early for my job anyway. So, hey, look, I had to do it to go ahead and get the content for you guys. I think that Newcastle's plan to stifle City was very good. I think that Newcastle has some chances to actually nick the victory as well, along with, City also having some chances to do so. I think that Dan Burns did a very good job on Haaland. You could see that was a consistent battle throughout the game. And I think I really like Newcastle's performance because they didn't back down like a lot of the teams in the Premier League. I was talking to one of my homies, Rex, who's the Chelsea fan. You'll hear his name a couple times on here. And we talk about the teams who it seems to me as though teams don't like going after City, right? They just feel like City's so perfect that they can't go after them. But for me, I feel like there are still holes and places that you can attack. Yes, it's easier for me to say it on the outside, but I do feel like there are things that City lack and that other teams can exploit if they're willing to take chances. The only way you're going to win is to take risks, right? So I think that was a good game plan from Newcastle. Did a great job in that 1-1 draw. Next games, we had Arsenal versus Leicester. I think I said a 2-0 victory. It ended up being 4-2, so 2-0 on aggregate, I guess you could say. Or winning by 2 goals, so I guess I was kind of right. But Arsenal got your boy scared, right? So it's just very typical of Arsenal that Manchester City drop points and then we also drop points and make it a lot more difficult for ourselves in a lot of instances when we're sitting here trying to chase the title, right? So I definitely see Arsenal doing stuff like that, but I think one of the things that Arsenal's trying to show per se is that we are different this year, and for me personally, it's hard for me to completely jump in on that because we've been waiting 21 years for a title. And that's just, I think I hear a lot of rival fans trying to sit here and say that either Arsenal fans are impatient or just a lot of different things, but they don't realize the situation that we've been in and don't know how much more patience that I'm going to have, right? So really for me this year, it's now or never, not in the sense of actually being never, but in a lot of circumstances, and I'll dive into that into a different video. It's now or never, right? There's a lot of players. We spent a lot of money. We have the manager. We have a sporting director that have been here and built the team up. We have the owners that have built the team up. And I need you guys to get us over the line. We've been patient. We've done what we needed to do as fans. Now it's your turn to give us something to be happy for and something to grasp on, right? So I'm not one of those fans who's going to just be cheery Arsenal all the time. Like I said, I'm very unbiased in a lot of situations. I'm logical and I'm rational in a lot of things too. And I'm not flip-floppy in a sense because I don't make statements that are outlandish, and nor will I make statements that are hiding what I see. So I'm going to be very centralized and neutral in a lot of situations. Even today when we were tied 2-2, I stayed very true to how I was. I wasn't sitting here freaking out. I still thought that we could get the victory and nick it at the end. If we didn't, I wasn't going to spaz out because it's not a loss, but I also wasn't going to freak out and be extra happy if it was a win, which it ended up being, because there are still too many things that are wrong there. I'll make a separate video on that. But Arsenal did a good job of fighting back and getting that win. Brentford, West Ham, I think I chose this one to be a 1-1 just because I felt like West Ham was in a tougher spot, and it was Brentford at home. So Brentford did a good job getting a point there. Chelsea versus Brighton, I thought that this one was going to be 3-1 to Chelsea. I thought that Chelsea was going to have too much for Brighton. They ended up doing it. Let's talk about Cole Palmer just for a second. This man is icy. I do want to talk about Brighton's tactics a little bit because I don't know why their line was so high. They look like Tottenham, high life for life. But I don't really understand what their plan of attack was. I think after the first 30 minutes, when you see Chelsea's getting in from one deep ball from either the defensive midfield or the center backs over the top, I think that you should understand to drop your line. These coaches, these managers, I should say, are really trying to stick and be stubborn on their principles, but you have to be flexible. You have to be able to adjust based on certain teams that you're playing, their tactics, and go on from there. Even if you want to initially start in a setup, you have to be able to adjust as the game goes on, and they did in the second half, but by that point, the game is a little bit too far gone. So I think that their tactics were wrong there, but not to say anything against Chelsea. Chelsea did a good job of exploiting it. Look, if a team gives it to you, you take advantage and you exploit it, right? So that's one of the things that Chelsea did very well. I think that they probably could have had some more goals. They had some goals that were offsides that were that they scored that were called offsides. And I think that Chelsea did a good job of playing the footy that they want to play. I think they're still trying to figure out the difference between being pragmatic and being attacking. They're still trying to figure out some things. But their manager is doing a fantastic job nonetheless. I think he's doing a good job of picking out the players that he wants to pick out in this team to be the starting players and the players that he is going to have as a second 11. Chelsea have 50 million people, so they're able to have, a starting 11, a B team, and a C team. But he's doing a very good job on making sure that he has his team balanced out for each time that they play. So fair play to Chelsea. Cole Palmer, my man, is fantastic. I think I saw a stat through 2024. He has the most goals and assists contributed at 31. So fantastic to him. Honestly, fair play. Manchester City, you literally let him go for far too cheap. Pep was not the greatest in seeing the future of him. So shout out to Chelsea for being able to exploit that. I think Everton versus Crystal Palace, I chose to be a 2-1. I may be wrong, but I think I chose Everton to be 2-1 because I think that Sean Dyche was going to come back and be able to implement something. I thought that Crystal Palace was going to struggle continuing on their current trend right now. I just felt like Dyche was going to be able to get it. I want to say I'm going to take credit for that, for calling that game correctly, but nothing really much. Everton playing typical to Everton. What's his name on the right-hand side? Oh, man, his name is slipping me. I'm going to go ahead and look at it now. McNeil, Dwight McNeil. He's a player, man. He is. So I think that he does a very good job of playing and working hard. He's been doing it. He's loyal to Everton, been doing it for a couple of years now, a little bit more than a couple of years. I think he's a good player. I don't know if he's necessarily top 6 good, but he could make a move to between 12 and 8. I think that he'd be a pretty good player from there. So I'm actually surprised that nobody's tried to pick him up. Every time I see him, he looks very good technically. He looks like he's got some moments of brilliance from him. So great job to Dwight McNeil for being a standout player today, doing well. Hopefully you had him in your fantasy Premier League. Next season, I'm going to hopefully have the subscriber count to be able to get you guys in and try and have a good community session with that. For now, though, maybe not next year, but for now, we're going to go ahead and mooch off other people's. Moving on to the next game, Nottingham Forest versus Fulham. I can't remember what score I picked for this game, but Fulham ended up winning. Did a good job. I think that this game I wasn't able to catch all of the game. I was able to catch bits and pieces. But like I said, Fulham's midfield is really where I felt that they could win this game. And for me, I felt like they won the game through midfield. And as I said beforehand, I felt like Nottingham had the chance to win if it was going to be a counterattack or using their wingers' pace and being able to attack from the wings and then attack the goal from that standpoint. They were unfortunate to not be able to do that and capitalize on any chances that they created, but Fulham were able to do so and went away with the 1-0 victory away from home. So props to Fulham for going ahead and doing that. And the last game of today, that Liverpool versus Wolves game, was a little bit tighter than I was expecting. But again, Wolves having their new Liverpool having their new manager, Arne Slot. There are going to be some bumps in the road. It's not going to just be rock and roll flitty all the time. It's going to be some times where it's a little bit more close than they would need. But Wolves still sitting near the bottom of the table, if not the bottom of the table right now, struggling to gain points. Did a bit better today in their shape, their setup, but Liverpool being too much. And I feel like Liverpool are learning to be more pragmatic and not just, continue on the Klopp way of looking for 2, 3, 4, 5 goals and possibly leaving themselves a bit open. But they are looking for the decisive goals and then, staying a little bit more compact, staying in their patterns of play and really trying to control games a lot more on that possession based. So for me, I think that Liverpool style of play will actually end up helping them towards the latter stages of the season. But again, you don't know this for sure, but I think with all the competitions that they're in, I think for me, this is why I said that Arsenal would win 2-0. I think that's something that Arsenal was learning. Arne Slot seems to already have that in the bag. And it seems as though Liverpool are going to be a threat for the title again this season. Will they win it? I don't know, but I think that they could possibly win a trophy. They're doing a great job transitioning from Klopp to Slot. So I think that Liverpool, for me, is a very, very high up team to watch and keep an eye out for. Sorry, it's late here. I tend to also drop these videos a little bit later because I know a lot of people are doing stuff throughout the day. I want to give this to you at a different time. I usually do it late night here. My kids are sleeping. I'm able to step out into this room and do it myself. But I do it later for you guys. Let me know down in the comments if you like the times that I drop these. I'm also dropping, like I said earlier, another short tonight. Go ahead and like, subscribe. Let's try and hit 10 likes on this video. I'm really, really trying to continue expanding. We gained another 2 subscribers yesterday. So I do appreciate you guys for liking and subscribing. Please continue to get this channel and this community up to where we want it to be. I can't do this without you guys. We want to continue growing. I want to put posters in here, all that good stuff, possibly even a green screen, a microphone. We're going to try and make this thing look nice. So I appreciate you guys. Honestly, I've been ADR. Again, like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Peace!